Todo está bien aquí. También con él. Todo está bien ahí.
As we wait here.
Omar. Elias.
Upset that we just saw. Well,
I
let's
remind you
listen in
guys,
first.
protect yourself at all times. Obey my commands at all times, okay? We're going 10 rounds. Touch him up. Let's go. Buena suerte.
Omar taking that shirt off a little faster than I thought. So Omar Juarez getting ready to go. I'll just pass along. Vito Milnicki, James Martin. That fight, that was the biggest upset of the year in boxing so far. We're only 4 months in, but if you go by gambling odds, that was the biggest upset of the year. And not a shock. So when you see Elias Araujo, a rugged 33-year-old from Argentina. He only started boxing at 25, Joe. But you wonder, all right, it's a grown man against a 21-year-old kid. What are your thoughts on the matchup?
Well, a 21-year-old kid is a grown man, too, by definition. But, you know, look, Omar Juarez is really a slick fighter, and he's getting more aggressive by the day as he is maturing. On the other hand, Araujo is he is a grown man. You're a mature man, let's say, and he likes to put the pressure on. He puts his hands up like that, and he likes to get his head right into your chest, work the body. He's not real fast, but he's real steady, and he'll keep coming at you. And the job for Juarez is going to be to somehow break that defense, keep him from walking him down and hurting him with something, especially up the middle, because that's where he might be most vulnerable. And I'm speaking of Araujo.
Yeah, Araujo said that in all of his fights, Omar Juarez has his way. He's just more physical. He's more talented. He said, my job is I want to drive this fight. He said Juarez is in for a surprise. That's why it's interesting to see as we open up here, especially given what just happened with Vito Milnicki.
Yeah, but look, I mean, it is a 10-round fight, too, so Araujo's got some time to do that. But again, Juarez, I think, is going to be in great shape. He looks terrific right now. I mean, he looks like he's in great shape, and he's very focused. So, and he's quicker than Araujo. So I think he might have his way early. Let's see if Araujo can break him down and do what he wants to do. That's the pressure, beat the body, and slow him down and pin him on the ropes.
Juarez coming off a knockout win. He knocked out Raul Chirinos in the first round right after Christmas of last year. The first big knockout, and so he says he'd like to build off that.
Yeah. Again, I think, you know, too, he started out like Milnicki. He's 18 years old. He's maturing. He's 21 now. We've seen him fight over the past couple of years. He gets better and better. He's going to get smarter. You know, each fight teaches you can do, 30 minutes in the ring will teach you more in a fight. Will teach you more than 30 days in the gym. So it's a learning experience, and you come away with a lot of knowledge when you go 10 rounds especially. So let's see what he's learned, and I'm talking about Juarez, and let's see if he can put it into effect here, this fight, because he's in with a guy that's been around and a mature man that is strong and will keep coming.
Yeah, Juarez looks like he did some homework in this.
Got to be more concise, Scott.
Yeah, in this fight, because of the fact that he's waiting for Araujo to come at him, and he's just biding his time, looking for some openings before he throws some shots. But like I said, this is the first round, and they're feeling each other out.
To your point there, Lennox, in the final seconds, good right hand to the body from Omar Juarez. Slow opening first round, though. Again, scheduled for 10. Unbeaten Omar Juarez. We're back after this. The main event, Tony Harrison, Bryant Perella. First time back in the ring in 16 months for Tony Harrison since he was dethroned by Jermell Charlo, former junior middleweight champion. Again, against Bryant Perella, who will come in with Roy Jones Jr. And Joey is wearing the suit. Looks like he's got the dress shirt out, ready to go.
Well, it's kind of a, I don't know. It's
kind of his thing.
Improvised. Yeah, it is. But, he's missing the tie. I think he had a tie last time, though, right?
Well, he'll probably have the jacket and the tie on when he comes in. He's a good fella, so he comes in the whole, the whole suit look.
The whole schmear.
That's his actual nickname. There we go. Yeah. Round 2 here. Omar Juarez, Elias Araujo. And early on, you see the punches landed 10-4 so far in round number 1. So it was a slow go opening things up. Juarez was really just assessing Lennox, I guess, in that first round. As a good right hand lands from Araujo.
Yeah, he was assessing. Now he can really He's assessed enough that he can actually throw some punches. What I love about Juarez is the fact that he rolls with his punches. Not rolling right now, but he rolls and comes back with some good combination. Good body shot there by Juarez.
Well, you notice what
Juarez digging that in, that left hand to the body.
Yeah, I was going to say, Brian, you see Juarez kind of slowed down his movement this round, and now he's sitting in the pocket a little bit more. Oh, that was a little low blow by Araujo. But Juarez is now, you know, he's challenging him in the pocket here, which is different than when he was just doing last round.
Yeah, and you can tell, again, that is the difference. That's a veteran fighter in Araujo, even though he doesn't have a big amateur background. After he got touched to the body, he was going to smack Juarez back to the body, even if it was on the border.
Yeah, I thought Juarez came right out in the first couple seconds of the round and landed two good body shots, straight right hand and then a left hook, and then the one that you caught off the ropes there. So his corner told him to start going to the body a little bit more, I guarantee it.
And Juarez doesn't have to go looking for Araujo. Is the fact that he's in front of him all the time. So he can basically take steps back and know that Araujo is going to come back to him and going to be in front of his face to throw the punches.
And did you notice that Juarez used that forearm to kind of drive Araujo back too? That's a new move for him because he's getting a little bit more savvy on the inside and using those little subtle moves. I'm sure you've done that before.
Oh yeah,
twice.
Absolutely. This is how you get better. And I picked that up from sparring a lot.
Did you use both forearms or just the left?
Both.
I remember him using the left and throwing the right, Joe.
Yes.
Which is not something you want when Lennox is near you.
Right. Well, that's why I've got 6.5 feet distance from him.
Good action so far here in round two. Both men throwing, and Araujo able to throw some overhand rights and try to. There's a right hand that lands. Good dig to the body by Juarez. More good body work, and now good combination by Araujo.
And this is what Araujo wants to have done. Like I said in the first round there, he loves the fact that Juarez will be sitting here right nose to nose with him or on the ropes.
Good sharp counter right there by Juarez, but Araujo, true to his word, staying in and digging in.
Well, most fighters in the game have a boxer they looked up to, the Muhammad Ali's, the Lennox Lewis's. But for Omar Juarez, it was Roy Jones Jr. He said he was the inspiration for him. He loved how he danced around the ring. He said he even listened to his music. Told me that he did get to meet him one time in San Antonio, and that was a thrill. But tonight, as he's in his co-feature in this co-main event, he's opening the show for his idol, Roy Jones Jr., who we've talked about is in the corner of Bryant Perella as he takes on Tony Harrison. Now, I spoke to Roy yesterday. He said he's definitely going to try to watch this one backstage and also say hello to him at the end of the night. Brian?
Yeah, I would hope so. They didn't get a chance to see him before the fight, but as Roy rolls in, one of the great fighters of his generation, if not the greatest. And here, round number 3, opening up, Omar Juarez against Elias Araujo. And they had a good scrap in that second round as they started to exchange. You know, Juarez had told us this week, I'm trying to get more torque on my punches and didn't want to overthink it. So if he's in there now, it's round 3. And if he wants to trade, I think Araujo is more than willing.
Yeah, Juarez looks like he's getting a lot of torque behind his punches, especially when he digs to the body. He's digging.
But I also like how Juarez is nice and calm on the inside. You know, that's the thing. Oh, nice little counter. That was a little rolling, counter right uppercut Juarez through there, and a good body shot. But, you know, the longer you do this, the more, relaxed you get, right? And the more self-confident you have in what you do. And I'm seeing that in Juarez right now. You know, Araujo's bringing exactly what we knew he was going to bring, and I think Juarez is dealing with it really well, like a more of a veteran than a rookie.
Yeah, Araujo is really arm punching. He's not digging as much, but he's throwing punches from different angles, and they're coming looping, but there's not a lot of starch behind them.
Well, you don't see many fighters start boxing at the age of 25 and then be watching them as professionals. That's very late. Even, say, Deontay Wilder was 19 when he started boxing. Extremely late, and he was a heavyweight.
Yeah.
But, Joe, have you heard? I mean, 25, that's very rare.
It is. I'm not going to lie to you, it is. And this is probably why he's got a rudimentary style, Araujo, because it's, you know, you develop more of a, you know, classic styles when you go through the amateurs, because you face so many different styles that it teaches you how to be stylistic yourself. When you start at 25, you just go with what you got, and it's probably, he feels like he's just a strong, you know, pressure fighter, and he's going to stick with that and win, lose, or draw.
Yeah, and what I noticed about him as well, he's coming in and, you know, all of his weight is in the front of him. So anytime Juarez throws that left hook, it knocks him off balance.
You're right. Well, he almost knocked
Final 30 seconds of round number 3. Sorry, Joe.
No, it's
just
right.
setting this up.
Yeah.
Final 30 seconds here. And Araujo more than game. It's going to be a long way to go, though. Juarez has plenty of time. That's a good uppercut by Juarez.
Well, that was a nice shot by Juarez. He threw a right uppercut and 2 left uppercuts right up the middle. And you got to, with a guy that comes with his hands up like that and kind of his arms apart, you got to go up the middle on him.
Round number 3. Omar Juarez fighting in a phone booth with Araujo as they mix it up to the very, very end. And, you know, soon enough, as you see, we're working with each other here at a distance, socially, but soon enough, May 1st, we'll all be together, gentlemen. How about that?
Yeah.
Joe, Lennox, and you'll be in the corner, of course, Joe, for Chris Arreola, but Andrew Ruiz will all be together and should be excited in Los Angeles. But I want a bit of news, Lennox. I don't know if you saw this.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson coming out says, I want Holyfield and I want Lennox Lewis this year. I want them both. I think I can get them both this year. If I can get those 2 guys, I say this is a wrap. I can go on and live my life. Lennox, your thoughts on Iron Mike wanting a rematch?
I think that's a good idea by his part. I think.
And how about from your end?
I'm ready. I'm absolutely ready, as you can see. No fat here.
No, we already talked about it.
I don't know, Joe, what do you think?
That's it. That's all there is to it.
How close?
Joe wants to train me.
Oh, you said you wanted me to train you. Don't back out now on TV, pal.
Brian, you can hold
Hey,
the
Joe,
bucket.
Yeah, well, thanks. Thanks for that. I mean, but good to get in on the action, though. I mean, Roy Jones and Mike Tyson, I believe that was not a volunteer exhibition. They got paid for that, correct?
You better believe it. According to Lennox.
Oh, yes. They got very paid? Is that what you're saying?
That's what
Lennox,
he's
they're
telling
calling
me.
you out.
Yeah, no, well, he wanted to know how much each boxer made, and I said over this and over that. So he couldn't believe the amount.
Yeah.
So now he's motivated to train you, Lennox.
No, I said I wanted to train him before I found that out. I said after he said agreed to me training him, I said, well, what did they make? And then I was like, okay, I really want to train you now.
Why not? Well, I know that did bonanza at the box office as well. And
Right,
Roy Jones
remember,
in the corner tonight.
We're allowed 3 guys in the corner, Bryce, so there's an opening for you, all right?
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Okay.
That's our producers volunteering me with the bucket. I don't know if I can close up stitches.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Juarez right now is picking. You know, he's picking his shots. He's being accurate with his shots, and that's what he's supposed to. He's not taking any shots.
And you're right. And see, 6 months ago, a year ago, he wouldn't be fighting like this against a guy like this. He'd be moving all over the ring. Right now, he's writing things out. He's blocking. He's bumping them around. He's staying calm, and he's looking for his good shots like that, which really hurt. Because he's blocking a lot of Araujo's punches. So he's doing the right thing here. He's winning the fight. But Araujo's not going to stop. He's going to try to keep, breaking that defense of Omar Juarez's.
Trying to break that defense. Trying to break that defense.
I would just throw it. Yeah, Joe, I would just say to counter, but isn't that the only way Araujo can win this fight, is to be that close?
Yeah, see, doing stuff like that, right there. Well, it is, but it's also a way for Juarez to get a knockout, too. See, because if he moves around, he'll get tired by Araujo chasing him, and this way he can break Araujo down himself and maybe take him out late, which will really be something to want, because at this point, because Araujo is not not an easy guy to stop.
No, but the thing is, he's throwing the same punches, and eventually he's going to get caught on the counter. And the roll of Juarez. Juarez rolls well, and somebody's going to tell him, roll with that right hand. And anytime Araujo throws that right hand, roll with it, come back with a right hand and a left uppercut or a left hook.
You're right, and he's done a lot of those things. Juarez has so far.
And if you look at Juarez can take those punches because there's nothing behind them. They're arm punches.
There's that little roll.
Juarez with a hard combination. Had to be a 5 or 6 punch combination there from Juarez to answer. Araujo, though, more than game enough to fight at close distance as they continue to slug it out. And this Tuesday, we're back here at the Shrine Expo Hall of undefeated lightweight prospects Frank Martin and Jerry Perez. 10 rounds, April 20th on FS1, 8 p.m. Eastern. Here, round number 5. Omar Juarez, 10-0, 21 years old, against Elias Araujo in the blue trunks. And Araujo more than happy to fight on the inside with Juarez. Juarez, that's his bread and butter as well. He likes to stay in and throw all sorts of beautiful combinations. But by staying in close, Araujo definitely has a shot in this fight and is able to touch. You see the punches thrown and landed. Juarez getting the better of it, 82-56. Body shots 24-22. But Joe, I would just say, again, he is kind of fighting Araujo's fight, or do you not agree with that?
Well, no, I say that Juarez is fighting the fight that he doesn't mind fighting right now, which is partially Araujo's fight on the inside, and then how he started out this round. He started at arm's length, just like that. He started landing combinations, uppercuts, right hands, hooks, and then every so often he'll sit on the inside. Now he took an uppercut there, but that's part of the game to get what you want, because sometimes the closer you are to a guy like this, the more you can hurt him, and I think that's what Juarez is looking to do.
Yeah, but Joe, when you say that Juarez can do what he wants in there,
he could. You mean by boxing and moving more?
Yeah, no, he's doing what he wants to.
Yeah,
like he can take the punches and block, and when he wants to do some offense, he can do that as well.
I think that's what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tell you what, right. But while we're having this discussion, guys, he's eaten about 5 shots, like to the head. He's taken some clean uppercuts, right hands. I was just, Juarez is getting hit, and getting hit hard.
Well, look, again, when you put yourself nose to nose with somebody, Bri, that will happen every so often. But then again, Araujo's got 8 knockouts and out of 20-something fights, so he's not a big puncher, but he's a strong guy. You're right. But he just
he's getting popped again. Another right hand.
Not denying that. I even said to Lennox when Araujo walked back to his corner after the last round, he was nodding like, yeah, I'm getting to him, and I'm gonna get to him. I agree with you there, but I still think it may be short-lived. And it's a nice right hand. But I think Juarez is still doing really well. And I don't.
I just wonder if he'd be. I know what you mean. I just think he'd be better served showing another dimension, and he hasn't done that. Let's quickly get to Marcos Villegas. Marcos, how do you have it on the cards?
On the cards right now, I have Omar Juarez in control, 40-36. Yeah, just loving the body work that he's doing, but Araujo is having a better round 4 in this one.
Yeah, you know what it is?
Marcos, thank you.
He's getting caught with silly punches, and he should really get back to the defense aspect and the punching aspect. When it comes to the punches, he's throwing the more effective punches. Rahu's throwing more all punches.
Right. I think Marcos meant round 5. He's having a better round 5 here, but he added 4 zip. Even if it's competitive, you can still have it a whitewash on the cards.
That's right.
The Mexican Rocky indeed, the destroyer, Andy Ruiz Jr.
Bit right by Ruiz.
The Nightmare Araujo.
He means business.
It will be an all-out brawl, fire against fire.
A great battle between 2 Mexican-American warriors.
This is the fight that I want to see.
That is May 1st, Fox pay-per-view, the return of the heavyweight champion Andy Ruiz. And Chris Arreola with Joe Goosen in his corner. Joe, give us a quick Quick something on Araujo. How's he looking in the gym?
He's looking really well. We had the Kovnatsky fight where he threw and broke records, he and Kovnatsky, and he's in 10 times better shape than that fight. So you're going to see a lot of fireworks. Andy Ruiz, obviously, in the best shape of his life ever. It's going to be two guys that know what they're doing, and they're going to do a lot of it.
And Andy Ruiz coming in. I got a chance to speak to both fighters, and Chris, at the age of 40, he looks great.
Yeah.
But obviously, Andy Ruiz had trouble with his own discipline after winning the title, ballooned up in weight. Lennox, he says he's coming in at 255. That's 30 pounds lighter than the rematch with Anthony Joshua, and he's sparring, under Eddie Reynoso. Canelo is there. He's motivated with a lot of other good fighters. He seems to have turned his whole career around, getting ready for this fight.
Yeah, that's what he should have done. He should have did that first before fighting Anthony Joshua. Coming in 50 pounds overweight was bad for him, and I guess he realized it, and this is what you have to go through. Sometimes you have to go through realizations, and he's realized that he should have came in lighter, but that won't affect his power. He's still going to have a lot of power.
He just looked drastically different, and I expect him to come in around 255 for that fight. That's May 1st. We look forward to that. Here, round 6, and you see Omar Juarez and Elias Araujo in the blue trunks, Juarez in the red trunks, as they continue to trade at close distance.
Yeah, I like, look, Juarez has decided he wants to have a different version of
someone's thing.
Bri, are you there?
Yes, I hear you, John.
I heard you too.
I'm sorry. I was talking to my people. I hear feedback. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'll have my people talk to your people.
Please do.
Yeah. In the meantime, look, you're right. Araujo is getting some punches in, but again, I think Juarez is in control of this, and it's a different look for Juarez than the normal fight that we saw, the past few fights where he moved around a lot more. I think he's made a concerted effort to want to sit in the pocket a little bit more and maybe start taking guys out. But again, it's a learning experience, and he's in there with the right guy to practice this on.
Plus, he feels good. He seems like he feels good. He's not getting punched. He's not getting hurt. He's not bruised up. And he's doing what he wants to do, and he feels good.
Lennox, was there ever a point where in your career where you felt you were moving too much? You go, man, I gotta settle down a little bit more and bump and grind at the right times.
Oh yeah, absolutely. There was a lot of times where, especially when I got together with Emmanuel Stewart, he told me to come forward a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it did help. Because I found the guys that I was moving backwards from, I shouldn't have. So forward really helped my career.
Got it.
I'll tell you, Araujo there with a flourish, and that even Juarez might be winning every round, but it is close. Take a look at the PBC heavyweights. We were talking earlier in the night because we had Dion Nicholson from Tuscaloosa, Alabama, and he says Deontay Wilder is in the gym training. That's great news. It'd be great to see the former heavyweight champion back in. Andy Ruiz is a former heavyweight champion. Kovnatsky, Luis Ortiz, and then you see Chris Arreola and the rising Frank Sanchez. But Andy Ruiz, only a win or two away from either a rematch with Anthony Joshua or maybe Tyson Fury. And as you see, for all of his problems with discipline, he is mentally strong in the ring. And now you see that was in Saudi Arabia, December 7th, 2019. He's about 286. That's what he weighed in at. And now he says he'll be 255. So now here's Ruiz in with Canelo. And by the way, he told me, guys, Lennox, he actually Instagrammed Canelo and said, Canelo, I need help. And Canelo said, I believe in you. Come down here, we'll train. And that's how it all opened up.
Oh, that's great. Yeah, it's great. You could see he definitely made a change in his training and his attitude. And that's very important.
Well, Joe, you've said it many times. When a fighter goes to camp, right, and you're isolated, and Andy Ruiz, it seems like, as we open round 7, he needed that. He's now in there. Ryan Garcia, Canelo, in there with Eddie Reynoso, and so he's living that life. And it's easier when you're surrounded by people living that life.
Well, look, you should be able to train on the moon or in your backyard. It doesn't matter. It's all up to fire. But I agree. When you do make that commitment to a training camp, number one, if you're going to go with Eddie Reynoso, there's no getting around it. You're going to have to work or you're going to be thrown out. So, Ruiz obviously made a commitment, and he's living up to that commitment, and so is Chris Arreola. That's why this is going to be a great fight. Chris Araujo moved out of his house. He moved into camp out here in LA with me. And both guys are doing the same thing. They're looking to win this fight. We're looking to win it. They're looking to win it.
Wow, spectacular counter-punching there from Omar Juarez. Sharp shooting from Juarez there to answer now here in round 7. Well, Joe, I think it's just going to be a collision, right? I mean, Araujo moves forward. Ruiz has to fight on the inside. That's where he's at his best. He's not going to dance. So they're going to collide in the middle of the ring, right?
Yeah, I would say that no matter what game plan you might give either of them, I think just by a force of nature, they're going to end up nose to nose in the middle of the ring. So I think that's just a natural. I mean, look,
round 7. Yeah,
I'm really anxious to see the fight. In a way, I wish I could see it from a distance, but because it's going to be a great fight. I wouldn't miss it if I was a fan. Trust me.
Good uppercut there by Araujo. No, Joe, you're going to get to watch the fight from very close. Yeah. But it'll be very personal to you. So you're right. You won't get to enjoy it like everybody else.
That's pretty much what I was saying.
Lennox and I will soldier on without you. Joe, I know you won't be with us, but Lennox, you're up for it?
Yeah, I'm up for it. Araujo right now is throwing a lot of punches. The pressure that he's giving Juarez is a lot. But Juarez is, is keeping his defenses intact. He's rolling. He's coming back with some good punches. Araujo is leaving his head in the middle of his he's leaving him head in the middle, and he better worry about Juarez's uppercuts, because Juarez only has to do is take a step back and throw an uppercut.
Yeah, Juarez is really teeing off on him right now. And of course, look, he's using that good shoulder roll. He's twisting and contorting his body and coming back with good punches, little short shots there. He'll deliver them to the head, get his hands up, and then drop that liver shot like he just did there. He's hurting Araujo with it.
A lot more sting from the punches of Omar Juarez. Sharp shooting. He's made the decision to fight in close. That is Araujo's game, but he's going to fight his fight and wants to get the better of him while fighting his fight. See there, little bolo action. Rolling, firing, good action all through this fight. We're back in LA after this. Omar Juarez there in between rounds with his corner. Elias Araujo on the other side. He's 21-2, only 8 wins by knockout. But again, we've been tracking this throughout. There's Araujo right there. Juarez, Joe Goosen, we've been talking about the pluses and minuses of it, of saying, no, I like to fight on the inside, even though your only fight is on the inside. I'm going to fight like that. Your thoughts on that strategy as of now as we get into round 8?
I think it's working for him, and I think he's got the right guy in front of him to do it with, and it's going to teach him a lot. And then lastly, Juarez wants to learn the inside more. He even said it in the fighter meetings that, he's been working on settling down, and you got to be able to, hit the short ball and the long ball. So you got to be able to work on the inside and outside. And I think this is a great fight for him to have worked out some of the bugs.
Yeah, Juarez's movements are almost like a martial art movements. He's blocking, he's moving to the side, then he's throwing a counter punch. So it looks very good.
And if you didn't have the goods like Juarez does, believe me, Araujo would be eating you alive. Look, I watched quite a bit of tape, and he fought some good guys that he was very competitive with. And right now, I think it's all Juarez. I think Juarez is doing an outstanding job against a real competent, capable guy that's in great shape and came to win.
Yeah, I agree with you. By the way, main event still to come. You saw the post right there. Tony Harrison, Bryant Perella. That is up next. Perella now with Roy Jones Jr. And I know you can't track too much of this, but did you see what Perella looks like these days? I mean, he's moving up in weight from 147 to 54, but it seems like he's in the type of condition that he's never been in before, now training under Roy Jones.
Well, you know how Roy Jones came into every fight. It was like he never took a deep breath. He was always in such great shape. Again, another, a specimen when it came to his physique. He was just incredible. And then lastly, I'll just say this. He's got one of the great boxing minds of all time. So he's got to be a big added plus to Bryant Perella.
Yeah, I seen Roy Jones in his last fight. Looked like he was puffing a little bit.
Well, yeah. 50 years.
That's fair enough, right? You're going to fight in your 50s. That's going to happen.
Let me tell you.
Final minute here in round 8.
When you're in the ring with Mike Tyson, of course you're going to be puffing because you can't stand still because he still can give a good punch. So Roy was doing a good job of staying away from him and actually holding him a couple of times.
Smart. But Roy was very crafty. Roy was very crafty on the inside himself, though.
Oh, yeah, he's always been crafty on the inside.
You see Juarez going to work here now again. Multiple punches back. Araujo, though, firing back. Trying to get his shots. Again, as we mentioned, we had Marcos Villegas giving the score. You could have a competitive fight and have it, this fight will be 10 rounds. You could have a 10-zip and still say it was competitive, and yet still have one guy winning every single round. That's how you judge it. And this could be one of those fights. Final seconds, round number 8. Juarez getting in good work. Araujo is not giving up. He appreciates the combat. Goes back to his corner. A good look from another angle. They are fighting from in close and landing tons of shots. Back for round number 9, scheduled for 10, Omar Juarez, Elias Araujo. And it has been Lennox spirited. Is that a good way of describing it? It's been a good fight, even if it's mostly Juarez so far.
Yep. Juarez is looking good. He doesn't have a mark on him. He's doing what he wants to do. And, I expect more out of him in this next couple rounds.
Joe, can I propose something?
Well, yes.
Well, if it's no, I'll propose it to Lennox or Marcos or Heidi. See, look, we're all up there now.
Just the word.
Wait
a minute. The word propose stunned me a little bit.
I'm not proposing to you, Joe.
Okay.
What I would like to ask you is if you were training Juarez, wouldn't you say, hey, for one round, why don't you jab and keep him on the end of your jab? Let's see if we can do that. Wouldn't you want to see a little of that?
Well, very little, because right now I want him to get the experience with the right guy. This is the right guy to get the experience with. So if you're going to sit in the pocket,
but he's done 8 rounds of it. I'm just saying he's done 8 rounds of it, Joe.
Okay, so you know what? Here's the thing. Now I'm saying you've done 8 rounds. Now let's really turn up the heat, sit in that pocket, and let's knock this guy out. Let's get a knockout. Turn it up so high and so hard that we're going to get a knockout here, because that's what we came after tonight, after all. Now, that being said, getting 10 rounds with the right guy will serve you well later on when you're in there with a really good guy that can also fight on the inside. You've got that experience. A couple more rounds can help.
Yeah, Joe, you're right. Getting this experience is very important, and that's what he's doing. And, he should turn it up, especially in the last round. Try and turn it up as much as possible, see what he can do, test himself.
Right. And the conditioning.
Well, when I say,
I'm sorry.
I would just say, well, like Lennox, you didn't do that to David Tua. Let me stand in and trade with Tua at close range. Right?
But Tua is on a different level than Araujo, if you understand what I'm saying. David Tua can knock out all the top guys at that division. So you've got to be careful and pick and choose. But again,
I'm saying, but put yourself at an advantage. Wouldn't you want to put yourself at, and then just say Juarez now, given that he's gotten this work, I would just think to show a different dimension would help him. Well, a different hard shot.
Yeah, it was, wasn't it?
Yeah, that one affected him because that's the first time I've seen Araujo actually hold on.
Exactly.
So he felt that one.
Yep. The other thing, Brian,
and so to your point, and look, if I was going to go on your point, maybe he is looking to see, can I break this guy down completely? And that would be a victory. So I hear what you're saying.
And then the last thing I would say, good body shot there. The other thing is this, and he's on his way of knocking this guy out if he keeps it up for the next part of this round and the last round, is this. You train so hard and you work so hard towards this effort that, you got to let it all go. You got to use it all up. And right now, I think he shouldn't waste all that conditioning because he is in great shape. You can tell Juarez, he's throwing, he's strong, he's not breathing hard, he's having a good time. Why not just finish it off with a knockout if you can?
Yeah, Juarez looks like he is getting closer and closer to doing that. Araujo is so tough, so rugged. But Juarez there able to finally slow him down and get the better of it clearly. We're going to stay right here. So we'll go into the corner. We've been talking about what a corner should or would say. Let's hear what they have to say now.
Get that cup out. Take a deep breath. Take a deep breath. tell me right here, right in front. Okay.
And you see Juarez throwing, digging to the body. Good shot, and you can see Araujo being affected by that punch. And here comes another side. Here's another sequence of punches, left, right. Left hook right there, short punch. Then he rolled. Now he's supposed to come back with a combo.
Doesn't have a mark on him. Look how good he looks.
Yeah, I was going to say that Juarez has a couple different times that he could knock out Araujo. One is getting the uppercut and throwing that left hook across, raising his head up because Araujo's head is down.
And Brian,
final round now. Omar Juarez now in the 10th round, and the thing we've been discussing as he starts off with some beautiful jabs, crisp in the final round. I'm sorry, Joe, you were saying?
No, I was just going to say, follow up on Lennox's point is, I've had fighters where I say, you know what, he finally learned how to knock a guy out, right, Lennox?
Yes, yes.
It takes a while. Sometimes you go, oh, I see. If I do a little bit more of that, boom, I can knock the guy out, right? Huh?
Yeah, and you know, realizing that the body punch is effective, working off of that body punch. Hit him to the body, then come with a left hook and throw a combination off of that.
Good counter hook there.
Araujo is throwing everything he can in here, trying to stay here, but Juarez is just continually beating him down. Now Juarez up on his toes for the first time all night. Yeah. Got a little room and hit him with a beautiful hook to the head.
Yeah, he did.
And Brian, if you told Juarez to run around and jab, that's what would happen. Araujo would be coming after him, and Juarez would be looking like he'd be losing the fight. But in this last round, this is the right thing to do. Stay away from him. You've won the fight already. There's no need to take any chances.
Well, Lennox, he also danced around and then got a little distance and teed off on him.
Yeah,
so creating a little space helped him too.
Yeah, but those weren't combinations. That was a quick hook and a quick touch. Right here, he'll be able to get off, 2, 3 little uppercuts and then drop to the body and drop a right hand after that. So it's a different type of effect. Yeah, both of them are effective, but you saw right there, that was a 3-punch, 4-punch combination there, as opposed to that spinning out with a hook and getting one good counter on him.
Nice right hand by Juarez as well. Hey, Joe, we can disagree. It's happened before.
We're not disagreeing. I think we're both adding to the portrait here.
We're having a fistic thought exercise here. Final minute of round 10. These guys have given an honest effort. We were extolling the virtues of the great, marvelous Marvin Hagler. These two have fought an honest fight on each other here tonight.
Absolutely.
And look, Araujo has not abated at all, even facing the firepower of this young kid.
Araujo hasn't stopped throwing punches through the whole fight, so he was in great shape coming in this fight.
Exactly right.
Final 30 seconds. Juarez looking to finish with a flourish. And maybe with a different style in front of him. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. And Joe, to your point, maybe he said, I wanted to fight this guy's fight and still stop him. He's coming off a knockout win. Perhaps that's what he was doing. Digging hard to the body. And again, quadruple hooks.
I think it was 5, but yeah, close.
Quintuple hooks.
Very nice, very nice.
And the final seconds. And this, look at that. Again, Juarez finishing in style. Relief. And very good work from both men. Araujo, again, he only started fighting at the age of 25. He's 21-2, comes in as the other side of the A side. That A side is Omar Juarez. But Juarez worked hard all through the night. And watch him dig in. Again and again. Was that 5 or was that 4?
5.
I lost count again. 5?
Yeah.
There you go. You're the math major. We're back. We'll hear the decision when we return.
Careful, Brian.
Okay. The main event is up next. Tony Harrison, Bryant Perella with his new trainer, Roy Jones Jr. First fight in 16 months for Harrison, former world champion. And here we just saw really an outstanding fight. Wow. And it might not be competitive according to the judges. You can see Omar Juarez digging in repeatedly, especially toward the end there with, I believe it was 5 hooks.
Yeah.
Again and again, a mutual respect. between Omar Juarez and Elias Araujo out of Argentina, now living in Fresno. But big smile from Juarez, who is tested this evening, looks for his 11th win. Let's get the decision, and we go to Jimmy Lennon Jr.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of action, we go to the scorecards with a unanimous decision. Here are the score totals. Judge at ringside, Zachary Young, scores about 98 to 92. Alejandro Rochin and Rudy Barragan both agree, scoring the bout 99 to 91. All three in favor of the winner. And still undefeated, Omar El Relámpago Juarez.
And that decision seems to make a lot of sense. Fellas, your thoughts? 1 or 2 rounds maximum for Araujo, but Juarez wins that CompuBox. Punches landed